Hey, yeah, we're here. That's right. Out of the blue. You didn't know we were going to do it, but we did it. We're coming to you live on a Saturday, May 29th. Yeah, Kevin Lyon, Michael Mondragon. And this is the Beer Baseball Blog, the adventures of craft beer and baseball. We are ripping and sipping every week, keeping baseball history alive. Joining me, as I said, my field correspondent and senior research analyst at the Beer Baseball Blog, Kevin Lyon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing better now after I saw you said, I'm going to film something today. I'm like, can I get home in time? And you're like, come on in. Here I am, 4:47 right. Pacific on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in sunny Southern California.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? It's a Saturday. This is very improv. Yeah. Cowboy Jack Durango says, what? Well, Cowboy, you were a big part of this. And for what we're going to be actually doing, this is a bit of a reveal. You are a Patreon subscriber, and you are actually one of 3 people that would have seen this. We were going to put this on Patreon exclusively. And that's what we're going to be doing in the future, but we really wanted to announce this, and I was glad that Kevin could jump on. So I wanted to do some more explanation about kind of what we're doing. So in the future, these updates will be weekly. They'll be only exclusive to Patreon subscribers. So if you would like to go to our Patreon, let me pull that up real quick. The Beer Baseball Blog has a Patreon. Look up Beer Baseball on Patreon. So if you become a member, you will have exclusive access to these kind of weekly updates that we're going to do. And it's going to be really super fun because we have so much stuff planned, and it's kind of hard to hold it in, and you want to say oh, we're doing all this cool stuff. But we have no outlet for it. So we're going to give it to our Patreon subscribers exclusively. This is the only time this will be on our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. Yeah. So actually, Jack says yes. Yes. And that's right. If you check our Twitter, Cowboy Jack Durango is trying to get somebody from the outside. If you fulfill his Twitter question or prompt, he's actually going to help facilitate another Patreon subscriber. So thank you, Cowboy, for that. Yeah. We totally appreciate that.
Yeah, take a look. I think it's you're supposed to submit in his tweet as a reply your favorite baseball photo.
Yes. So. Yes, and so we dig that a lot, and this is so exclusive. This live broadcast, I am actually not wearing a hat for the first time in a Beer Baseball Blog anything. Yes, and
we're live, pal.
Yeah, perfect. You nailed it. All right, so. So this would have been our first Patreon member-only update, but we're actually going to put this live. We're trying to just cultivate a whole bunch of people to get in on our Patreon and support the Beer Baseball Blog. We've done really great. Despite let me back up. So. We have 3 things. We have the Beer Baseball Blog, which is something where we document going around to stadiums, craft breweries. Obviously, because of the pandemic, that put a big kibosh on that. So we actually pivoted and started doing a weekly show, the Beer Baseball Blogcast, which has been a complete success. We've done 50 next week, or actually next Tuesday will be 58 straight weeks we've done it. It is actually episode 57 because we had a pilot episode because we wanted to see if we were good at this. And it has not slowed down a bit. And one of the, and then we also have, we also have the Hoppy Hour. where we just jump on Saturdays and just kind of, BS and drink beer and talk about baseball. We haven't done that for a while, but we have some people in the queue. And we also have the interview series where we interview people that influence baseball, have baseball connections, pro wrestling connections. They have, we actually interviewed the Myrtle Beach Pelicans. We did Gabe Ramirez up in, he actually does Revolution Pro Wrestling. He also has a baseball tie where they actually did wrestling for the Oakland A's.
Yeah, the Oakland A's in the parking lot. They did a match with Thumper the Elephant. Yes. I don't even know how you would have gotten the ring in that costume.
Yeah, and Lucille from the San Francisco Giants and stuff like that. So it's like we have all these great people and we have all this stuff on deck and we just have no forum to talk about it. And we really wanted to do more, but also inform people of like kind of the cool things we're doing and let them kind of sneak peek behind the scenes to see kind of what we're doing. One of the cool things that we're doing is actually tomorrow. So, yes. So this is, if you're a Patreon subscriber in the future, you're going to get this exclusive info, but you're getting it for free today. So tomorrow we're actually doing something that's pretty incredible. Okay. So, we are filming our first stadium tour since 2019. Okay, so the last time that we actually went to in Palm Springs, it was the California Winter League, right, Kevin?
Yes, sir. That would have been February 7th and 8th, I believe, in 2020.
Oh, it was 2020, so it was right before everything. Yeah. That's right, everything shut down. So technically it was in 2019, but
I was thinking more, more professional level because that's more instructional league.
Right. So it was the in Palm Springs, the California Winter League is just like it's high school students. It's also some college players, and it's actually you actually have to pay to get in.
It's only like $10, and you get to see 2 games. And the old stadium is actually where the Angels used to do their spring training back in the day, and they're also affiliated with, I believe it's called I want to say it's the Frontier League. It's one of the independent leagues. Mm-hmm. I know they have a tie with them, and they've had a couple of players that have gone on to getting signed. So after doing this league, so I'm like, it's obviously worked well. And hopefully they're able to come back next year. It's always a fun time. Great time to go to Palm Springs is January, February. It's beautiful.
Yeah, totally beautiful. There's like a lot of great craft breweries that we always check out. We actually went to go see a concert, some
yacht rock.
It's called yacht rock, but it's it's like soft rock, like
come on, Ambrosia.
Let's see, let's think of Michael McDonald, Boz Scaggs, that type of rock.
All that kind of stuff.
A lot of good stuff. Thank you for joining, David. We really appreciate it. Again, this is totally improv. We're just kind of throwing it out there. We wanted to talk about some of the stuff that we're doing. We're actually going to be tomorrow. So this is tomorrow, Sunday. We're actually going to be in San Manuel Stadium in lovely San Bernardino, California. It's going to be the Fresno Grizzlies. They're the low A affiliate for the Colorado Rockies. Against the Inland Empire 66ers, who are the low A affiliate for the Angels. And I say low A affiliate because the minor leagues have totally been restructured. It's been very sanitized. What league did it used to be the California League, right?
Yeah, I think it's still called the California League, but they were always, I should say always, because the low level and high A baseball is still relatively new to me. I don't know when they switched it over to that. But because it used to just be straight single A, and then when once you're good enough, you go to double A. But now they were always high A, and for some reason they got lowered to the low A level.
Yeah.
And one of the rookie leagues up in the Northwest League, they used to be a half-season rookie league, and now they're full season high A affiliate. And I was like, I wonder why. I still don't know why they made that change. And more significantly, you mentioned Fresno Grizzlies. They actually were a AAA team last year that lost their affiliation.
And they fought to get back in because they were going to be actually like reduced And they have like an amazing stadium in Fresno. It's a
nice.
very nice AAA facility that I actually went to.
Yeah, I've been there too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's called Chuck Sanazi.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to
I'm
pronounce it.
probably
Yeah.
butchering that one. And they have an
Yeah,
awesome
I'm not even gonna
brewery.
try it.
They have actually a great brewery right behind it that I went
Oh,
to that was super
I wish I would
cool.
have known that. I didn't know that
Yeah,
back when I went. I went like 8 years ago, something like that.
it's
Excuse me.
called Tioga Sierra, I
Right on.
believe. And
And I
go
was
ahead.
saying it's too bad though because the league did lose Lancaster.
Yes.
That was like, and they actually were at a pretty. I mean, it was a pretty nice stadium because it was relatively new. The Jethawks were only around for maybe like 15 years or so. I want to say at the earliest it was started in the early 2000s, and
Yeah.
they unfortunately just didn't make the cut. And apparently, I think it was saying some scouts weren't really too fond of that stadium.
It's
For whatever reason.
actually if you know LA, um, it's actually very hard to get to Lancaster. Okay,
Oh
so if
gosh,
you're in LA, so you have to go extremely west, you have to go north, and then extremely east to get there. So like where I'm actually living, I live like in the Pasadena area. If I were to go literally north across it's because there's a big mountain range.
yeah.
And so like if you were to literally go straight north, you could get to Lancaster, but there's no way to get there. So that's why Lancaster is probably it's just the travel part of it was
I just
was
remember that was like
difficult.
the longest, like hour and a half, hour and 45-minute drive of my life when I went there.
Yes.
I went there once for a game, and I was coming home, and I just felt like I was driving home for like 3 hours. I'm just like,
Oh yeah. And especially if you're coming back from Orange County and stuff like that, so it's like even that a further grind. So
yeah. And even in an
and
Empire, without traffic, it's like for me about an hour. But
yeah.
it's a pretty easy, straightforward drive too. And
So so
this is a nice ballpark too. Nice ballpark.
it's a really nice ballpark, and one of the things that well we actually if you knew the Shohei Ohtani thing that happened in Oakland, boy, that could happen here just as easily where he had the transportation issue. He
Oh
was
yeah.
actually on the BART, like the Bay Area Rapid Transit.
Well, it's because there was a crash on the Bay Bridge, and they
Yeah.
literally couldn't get across the bridge. So they somehow, apparently, the one thing I read is they messed up or missed a transfer, which I'm like, I did that. One of the last times I was up in that area, so I can see how that could happen. But
Yep.
going out here, it's just if you're heading east to this area, it can be a nightmare during the week. But on the weekend,
Yeah.
like the game's Sunday at 2:00, not bad at all.
Yeah, so what we do is we usually plan ahead. So the game's at 2. We were actually very fortunate to connect with let's see here. Let me go down here.
Yeah, I know his name. I just don't remember his official title. As far as I know, he still does the radio broadcast too.
Yeah, it's Steve Wendt is the director of broadcasting for the 66ers. So I reached out to him. He was very accommodating. We actually have press passes, and we're actually going to be doing an interview with Joe Hudson, who is the GM of the 66ers.
That's cool. Very
He
nice.
actually grew up in that ballpark and actually did concessions as a young kid. So, like a teenager. So we can't wait to talk to him.
Yeah, I'm
we actually,
interested because I want to know because this stadium only opened up. I said only. It's like, I mean, it's not like it's like last 5 years, but I think this park opened up around 1999 or 2000 or so.
Mhm.
And fun fact, we didn't wrestle each other, but Michael actually wrestled in the parking lot of the stadium.
That's right, we did. And
That
what
we
was
wanted to
like,
drop on Joe Hudson tomorrow. He's gonna be looking at us like, what?
like 2000? I think that was like 99, 2000, 2001 maybe.
When we were wrestling in the parking lot, yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been for the car consumer pro wrestling.
Wow.
But I'm guessing the stadium opened up a year or two before that because I went to the original field. It's called Fiscalini Field on the other side of San Bernardino. This is more centralized by like downtown area.
Nice. Okay, so we usually hit a brewery either before or after. We have we decided that, Kevin?
We were looking at one called Luchador at Brewing. It's in Chino Hills, and I remember I brought a beer once from them for a happy hour, and I was like, oh, that's kind of fun, and the beer was solid. And I'm like, and they have Mexican food. So I was like, oh, hey, if we stop by there at 11 when they open, get a quick pint, and then, head on over to the game. I think the gates open at 12, and then we'll just interview Mr. Hudson and get ready to watch baseball in person. What?
Yeah, it's crazy, and like we have to go through a whole COVID protocol. We actually have to sign a waiver. I'm sure we have to wear a mask the whole time. They're very and I'm not. I could care less. And this is actually I joke with Kevin. This was baby's day out. This is literally my first thing that my first big thing that I'm attending, aside from when I got vaccinated. But yeah, it's a big deal, and I'm looking forward to it. And especially for this is actually a big thing. Now, one of the great things about this is I forgot in this process how much I loved researching and seeing not only the players that are going to be for each team, but also the staff. For the Inland Empire and Fresno. So let me tell you this. Fresno actually let me start with. I'm gonna come back to Fresno. Inland Empire actually has shortstop Jeremiah Jackson, who is the Angels' number 5 prospect. Playing for them.
I wonder what that name rang a bell. Okay, right on.
Yeah, so he's a number 5 prospect. He's playing for Inland Empire right now. Inland Empire also has former Major League Baseball third baseman Jack Howell from the University of Arizona as their manager. And for those who may or may not know, Jack Howell played for the Angels from 85 to 91. He played for the Padres in 91. Actually went to Japan to play for the Yakult Swallows from 92 to 94. He was the Central League MVP in 92. He played for the Yomiuri Giants in 1995, came back to the United States, played for the California Anaheim Angels 96 to 97, and then finished with the Astros in 98 to 99. Their pitching coach, Kevin. Now, we marked out about Jack Howell.
Because I told you, I actually saw Jack Howell manage the Burlington Bees 2 years ago.
That's right. And I saw that he was the manager.
I went to Kane County Cougars game, and I saw he was the manager, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I was going to yell at him Jack Howell.
Yes.
Just give him a holler and be like, hey, I'm from Anaheim. Because I obviously went to a lot of games in the 80s.
Yep.
And I remember he had to replace Doug DeCinces, who was pretty beloved.
Oh, that's right. That's a big deal.
Third baseman. He was an up and coming guy, and more or less, I'm thinking he was getting eased in while DeCinces is finishing up his career.
That's right.
But it was just fun. I was like, oh, that's fun. He got kind of, I guess, just moved horizontally, I guess, since Burlington probably was the low A before that.
Right, exactly. So, so the pitching coach for Inland Empire is former Major League Baseball pitcher Gil Heredia.
Oh, okay. I do remember Gil Heredia.
Yeah, he played for the Giants from 91 to 92. Actually played for the Expos from 92 to 95. Played for the Rangers in 96. Skipped a year, but then finished up with the Oakland Athletics from 98 to 2001.
It's 10-year career, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah,
and he's a good pitching coach. Right about
and
now.
He's also from the University of Arizona. So I noticed that there's a big Arizona connection here. And he was another Arizona connection. He was also the minor league pitching coach for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh, there you go.
So and I wanted to make mention of this. This is kind of a cool thing that when I saw that this guy was he's actually on Fresno. So let's go to the Fresno Grizzlies, who are the low A affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. So Fresno has outfielder Zach Veen, who was the 9th overall pick in the 2020 Major League Baseball draft. And he's the number 1 Rockies prospect.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that'll be really cool to see him. And if you think about it, these are the especially the number 1 draft picks. They're the ones that have the straight line to Major League Baseball, and they're gonna get fast pass. So the fact that we get to see him at all in the minor leagues is a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's cool.
Fresno has Robinson Cancel as their manager, who's from Puerto Rico. He actually played on the Brewers, Mets, and Astros from like 99 to 2011.
Wow.
And and I think he has like one home run in the major leagues, but that's one more than me. So
Yeah, exactly.
so I think that's always awesome. He has like 10 RBIs, but like, hey, he had a cup of coffee and made the best of it, and he's still in baseball. But the guy that I really went nuts for when I saw this, you're going to love this. And anybody who's a Beer Baseball blog fan is going to love him. We actually have a new player that I won't say player. He's actually the pitching coach for Fresno. Are you ready for this, Kevin?
All right.
Okay. Fresno has a pitching coach named Mark Brewer.
Right.
Boom.
All right.
Yes.
Cheers. Oh, Brewer, drink up.
Salud, Mark Brewer. By the way,
Hey,
Kevin,
Michael, what are you drinking?
I was going to ask you the same thing. Show me what you're drinking.
This is by Uinta Brewing in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it's a mango golden spike wheat ale.
Ooh,
definitely not normally what I would drink, but I saw Trader Joe's. I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. And right now on Sunday at 4:45, it's actually pretty nice. The mango
awesome.
It gave me the golden spike, so to speak, right to the head, you know.
So I actually got one that you got me from Radiant Brewing. That's a favorite on the Beer Baseball blog. That was then West Coast IPA. So some good stuff there. So yes, so Mark Brewer is actually the pitching coach for Fresno. So we'll definitely have to look out for him. Definitely, he was actually the pitching coach for the University of Texas. In 92, in 98 through 99, he was a pitching coach for Oral Roberts. But get this, he actually made the jump from there, pitching coach for the independent Salt Lake City Trappers in the early 90s, and then he was in the Texas Rangers, Los Angeles Dodgers chains for the rest of the 90s. He actually was a coach for the Great Falls Dodgers in 96. Vero Beach Dodgers 98.
Hey, he's all over the place. Wow.
San Bernardino Stampede 99. Tulsa Drillers 2000. Let's see. He was okay.
So one thing I was gonna say, he obviously was with all the Dodger teams because the San Bernardino Stampede was back then at San Manuel Stadium. That would have been Dodgers affiliate back then.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because I was like Vero Beach, and all that.
So in the 2000s, he was the pitching coach for the 2005 Omaha Royals, 2006 Birmingham. Binghamton Mets, 2007 New Orleans Zephyrs.
My gosh, he's on a different team every year.
Oh my God! In 2008, he went to the New York Mets Latin America pitching. He was a Latin America pitching coordinator.
Oh my gosh, well-traveled man.
Oh my God! Like he was the rehabilitation coordinator for the Pittsburgh Pirates 2009. Came back to the Mets. And then get this. So he was moved to the GCL Mets 2011, Buffalo Bisons 2012. He was with the Asheville Tourists 2014 to 2016, the Albuquerque Isotopes in 2017. Hartford Yard Goats in 2018. I might have seen him. I was trying to think
when I went to Albuquerque, was it 2017? I think it was 2018, but I don't remember for sure on that.
So he's coming back to, you can see he's coming back to the Rockies because the Yard Goats are for...
right. And so the Isotopes.
Yes. And then Asheville again, 2019. Fresno Grizzlies, 2021. So we have a lot to talk about tomorrow. We're actually going to be doing all those interviews that we said. We're hoping that Daniel Garcia and Chris Johnson from Halo Haven will attend as well. That would be really nice. We also saw some fans out there the last time we were at Inland Empire. It was a guy who, what was his name? Swanee?
I think that was his nickname, yeah. And we saw him wearing an Enrico Palazzo shirt, and I'm like, that's what got my attention. I was like, and then we just started talking to him, and him and his wife were actually people who they host players. I don't know if that's a thing in minor league baseball where, you'll adopt a player because minor league players don't make a lot of money unless if you're the number one draft pick for the Rockies, but they'll just literally adopt a guy. And they said they had like Kenny Middleton, former Angel, a few years ago.
Right.
He said he was actually an extra in Mr. 3000. I almost said
That's
Mr.
right.
Baseball. That'd be weird.
That's right.
He was in Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac.
And the only reason why we approached him is because he had that Enrico Palazzo shirt. And we're just like, hey, that's an awesome shirt. And we started like chatting it up. We eventually
we went to the same brewery as them after that game.
We went to Ritual Brewing afterwards. It was like, a super sweet guy. And who would have known? It was just a chance meeting. So definitely look for this video coming soon. We're going to be doing a lot of filming tomorrow. And if you're in the LA, area, Orange County, if you're going to be out there, let us know on our social media.
Yeah.
I
will say, if you're going to go, make sure you look up the protocols for COVID. Because like, for example, something I didn't know about, so I looked it up. If you're going to attend the game, you can't buy your tickets at the gate. You have to get them ahead of time. And it looks like all food orders are done mobile, which I think that's interesting. I don't think you can just go up to the concession stand and buy food and drink, which that's part of the interesting thing for us tomorrow. Going to go. I just wanted to see what baseball just looks like at this level in 2021. And what breweries are going to be there? Because Hangar 24 has a spot, right? You get, right there in like the third base side. So we're hoping that's still there.
Yeah, so it'll be fun and it will definitely be documented. So like it's kind of special to us because it's been such a long time. We had obviously a long pause. So we've been actually something else that we've been trying to do is we've been trying to land Dan Epstein or Dan Epstein. We'll actually find out. I'm not sure of the proper pronunciation of it. But he did this book that I actually have right here. Kevin has already read it, and he's forcing me to read, which is very difficult for me. I don't have a lot of time to read, and I've actually had to sit down a half hour at a time and actually read a chapter.
I forgot. My goal was to just find questions and just be like asking them, like, give me these answers.
I actually can answer the questions that a few of them that you.
Yeah, well, we're not going to talk about it. I mean, there's one thing.
We're not going to talk about it. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait till it comes. He's actually also written "Stars and Strikes: Baseball and America in the Bicentennial Summer of 1976," and also "Big Hair and Plastic Grass: A Funky Ride Through Baseball in America in the Swinging '70s." And we actually saw him speak once at the Shrine of the Eternals. Was it?
That's
the
correct.
Ceremony?
It was their ceremony in 2000. Was it 18 or 17? I can't remember off the top of my head which year it would have been, but it was good. It was a good speech, and I just kept the guy's name in the back of my head, and I'm like, I never got a chance to read his book. So this one, The Captain of Me, just came out in April. So, and when I saw it was with Ron Bloomberg, and we've talked about him on the show, and I was like, he talked about being the first designated hitter, and it's like, okay, Dan helped him write this book about his time with Thurman Munson, a guy who's definitely one of the more unheralded players. Unfortunately died at a somewhat young age. God, in your 30s, that's too young, and definitely was on the path for a Hall of Fame career. Yeah,
and we were talking about. I mean, like Babe Ruth was the captain of the Yankees.
Yep.
Derek Jeter, the captain of the Yankees, and Thurman Munson, captain of the Yankees. So,
it was the first. In the book, it talks about. I have to remember the time frame. He was the first captain in a long time.
Yes.
For the Yankees.
Yeah. So I mean, there's so much like little stuff in the book that's just super amazing, and Dan has been really gracious. I've been having some good conversations with him. Behind the scenes, we're trying to really connect with him because he's on East Coast. I definitely want Kevin involved in this, and it's like he can't do weekends, so we're definitely trying to get him. He's gonna be. It's gonna be
the coffee hour. It's gonna be coffee.
Yeah, it will definitely be that. Yes, or the late hour for us if we just go around the clock, for sure. Okay, so that's something we also have in the works. We also have, this is Claudio Relsano. I was actually on his podcast a couple months ago. Great guy out of Pittsburgh. And he not only does a podcast, and he's had some amazing people on there, but he is also an author. He's listed as the GM Pro Scout Global Scouting Bureau, head coach, Carnegie Mellon University. He's a TV host, a podcast host. The book is Lead from the Heart Up, not the Neck Up. And he's been super gracious and reached out to me quite a long time ago. And actually, I wanted him on our podcast, and actually didn't work out just with the timing and everything. But I eventually would like to get him on, and yeah, he's a super big wrestling fan as well. So
That
Kevin,
was
I
pretty
know
funny.
that you have so much to talk about it, like old WWF and
Yeah.
like the San Martino days.
Yeah. I was laughing. I'm going, I'm like, that's the most I've heard. It was like Michael's being interviewed about wrestling almost more than the Beer Baseball podcast.
It's so true.
I was like, I hope Michael's okay with this, talking so much wrestling.
I don't mind, as I mean, it gives me a forum to talk about the great baseball stuff that we're doing,
Yeah.
and people seem to like the fact that it's almost like well, both of us, Kevin, I mean, we both
Yeah.
wrestled, so I think it's like one of those like superhero identities where we reveal that we had these amazing like pro wrestling experiences around the world.
Yeah.
And people are like super fascinated by that. I remember Claudio asking me, he goes, like, what's the belt that you won that was like so special to you and everything? And I'm just like, and anybody who knows us and knows wrestling is like, we never thought that we would ever have a belt. It's like that's for like the guys who are super good or super established in wrestling. Like I told him, I go, it's not. I'll tell you, but it wasn't really special to me. It was.
I just want to know. I don't remember you. What title did you have?
I actually had. Well, I mean the Revolution Pro title, but I always felt like bad because I kind of won that on a fluke. The other one I actually won.
Hey, scoreboard, baby.
Yeah, true. I mean, but that's the whole thing. In my mind, I never felt like I won it. Like from my talents, it was more kind of it just happened. But I also, at the end, I actually won the NWA. There was an NWA title that I actually won. It was kind of like a junior title. I can't remember exactly what the name of the junior title was. But then he was totally impressed with that. That it was like that. Oh, he was like, that's so special. Like not everybody gets to win a wrestling title and everything. And I was like, yeah, I never looked at it that way. You're right. And it's like,
it's true.
I had to train and do all the stuff, and I had to be in a position to be, called on that. He was right. And but I don't have as much of an ego to say like, oh yeah, I was NWA whatever champion. It's like it just wasn't my the way I was cut. And I felt I was lucky, and I'm sure you can say the same thing. I felt like I was lucky to do it once, let alone as many times as I did it.
I was just like, what's going? Nowadays, I look back going, I really did that? What?
Yeah. Yeah,
it's crazy. And again, it's like, I only started wrestling. It was just a fluke too. You know what I mean? It's just literally like, it needs someone to fill in last second. It's like, okay. Next thing you know, I'm like, I'm wearing this costume that barely fits me. And I'm just like, okay, here goes nothing,
And Kevin, like I'm gonna tell you something. I don't think I've ever expressed this to you, but Kevin, you're like a big punk rock fan. Like, what's more punk rock than putting on a costume and going and wrestling? It's like we did it the most punk rock way we could. It was like we went out, we just did it, and
it was it was very DIY.
Completely. Sure. So
that's exactly what we had to do. I was involved. We had to open up our own place in order to do shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were the people who were wrestling around that time didn't want to touch us.
No. And then weirdly, it's like, if I go through the people that I've wrestled, that you've wrestled, it's like a who's who of like, today's wrestling.
Oh, there's some who? There's definitely some who's in there too, though. Come on. Not going to bury anybody. Asian Persuasion. Yeah. That was the first victory of my career. I beat a guy named Asian Persuasion.
That's a great name, by the way. You just go with that, I'm trying to think of the first person that I actually beat. I don't know
how I think because I was just laughing so hard and like, okay, I'm gonna win a match. Okay, I'm beating this guy who's like almost my size. And I'm not a very svelte man. I was the best chest in the West.
Matt Harper joined us today. So Matt, let me recap for you real quick. This is the reason why that we're on right now. This is actually we were going live because this was actually going to be a Patreon subscriber only update. So we're going to start doing Patreon subscriber updates every Saturday. But we really wanted to announce it, and I was glad that Kevin could jump on and we could actually do this. We've actually been going for 35 minutes.
Sorry.
This is some update. I knew that we would be long-winded when it came to it. But we really wanted to give people value for supporting us and the Beer Baseball blog. And we have so much stuff going on. Matt Harper is actually from our Carvers and Creators. That's another show that I do on Thursdays. So we have so much going on. I eventually want to take it over there and do the same model for that as well. But we're just every week I'm just going to go through updates of like what we're up to, the things that we're doing. We're doing a big baseball thing tomorrow, Sunday in Inland Empire. We actually have some interviews coming up. But now I'm actually going to kind of wrap it up. I wanted to go over here, and I wanted to we have the Beer Baseball blogcast, which will be June 1st. That's Tuesday. We're going to episode 57. And there's Johan Santana, who's actually has a very interesting connection. It's very ironic. Is it ironic or a coincidence that he's 57? Okay, coincidence. That because Johan Santana actually did something on June 1st. Back when that actually goes into our this day in baseball. But first, I wanted to say that we actually have a couple things that are before that. We're actually going to be doing a special YouTube video. Angela Trinidad actually has a holiday edition for Memorial Day on Monday, May 31st of Beer and Break. We're actually probably going to rename it Root Beer and Break because he's actually going to do a pack war with his son Lucas for Topps Series 1. So Root Beer and Break with Angela Trinidad is actually going to be I'm probably going to shoot for noon on Memorial Day, so noon Pacific. So look for that video.
Yeah, that's here. That's gonna be here on the YouTube, and the whole thing. And there is no Monday Night Rip. That's on the Beer Baseball blog Facebook. That's only Mondays at 5. This Monday and next Monday, Angelo said he's not going to be doing that. Just heads up.
Yeah. And Matt says Carlos Santana. I'm not. Oye, como va to you? And
it sounds like a Cowboy Jack answer right there.
Yes, and but he's also. I think he's making reference to the first baseman for the Kansas City Royals, Carlos Santana. I'm not sure.
I'm sure that's exactly what he's doing.
I'm sure that was very.
Hey, I'm Santana, man.
Yes. So okay, so let's this is the kind of updates that we're going to give. So like this is a little peek into Tuesday's Beer Baseball blogcast. Now you would not get this. And by the way, let me state for the record, Kevin Lyon, Angela Trinidad have no idea what I'm going to bring them on Tuesday. All I say is bring a beer, bring your opinions and your knowledge, and this is what I have for you this week. But actually, when you're a Patreon subscriber, you're actually going to get these types of little insights of like what we're actually going to do. So our subjects for June 1st are Lou Gehrig, Shibe Park, Ron Santo, Nolan Ryan, Dennis Eckersley, not only Phil, but Joe Necro.
All right.
Yes. Phil Nevin from what college, Kevin?
Cal State Fulton, my alma mater.
All right. So there's a very interesting...
Los Titanes.
That's right. There's a very special history lesson from that Phil Nevin is a part of. Tomo Oka is another part of this. Lance Berkman, the 2005 Houston Astros, former Mississippi Braves manager Philip Wellman. Now this one. Now Kevin, just by name, do you know who that is?
I have no idea. I was gonna say, how do you know? You only know from your notes, Mississippi Braves manager.
Okay. Are you ready for this? You actually know him, and you don't know that you know him.
Okay.
No, it's one of those.
in the flesh?
You've actually seen him.
Okay.
And it's actually it's interesting.
I'll be looking forward to it.
Yes, and obviously Johan Santana is a part of this. Not only is he the 57 on our banner, but he actually has a place in history on June 1st. And we're gonna round it out. Ready for this? With the Pina Colada song, actually has a place in our Beer Baseball blogcast.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, and it has nothing to do with that guy. You know.
Yeah, no, with Rupert Holmes. Rupert Holmes, sir.
There you go. There you go.
I
All
gotta
right,
see if there's a pina colada beer I can find by Tuesday.
Yes. Yes. All right. So, thank you. Like and subscribe. The way that you can support the Beer Baseball blog is just going to our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. Click like our stuff, watch our stuff. That's the best way, the best free way that you can support us. We totally appreciate your support for all these years. And again, if you want to be a Patreon subscriber, I'm actually going to go back to this really quickly. Yes, there we go. So these updates will only be exclusively for our Patreon subscribers. So we're gonna do this. We probably won't go 41 minutes like we did.
No. I hope.
But we're gonna actually update you and tell you the things that we're doing and the things that we want to do, and the things that are coming up. And you will be in with the Beer Baseball blog when it comes to that. So, Kevin, did you have anything that you wanted to promote or say out there?
You know what? I would say if you need some humor in your life, be sure to email jokeline@aol.com or call Jackie's Joke Line at 516-922-WINE, WINE.
Awesome.
Support the Inland Empire 66ers. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't
official
wait.
minor league team that we endorse them. We endorse the Inland Empire 66ers.
Yes, and they've been totally gracious and really great, and just everything that we wanted to do. We're looking forward to doing more stuff like that. Eventually, we'd like to venture out to maybe like Lake Elsinore, go up to Visalia.
Oh my gosh, the rawhide.
Yes, we can go up to the Modesto Nuts.
You're forgetting Cucamonga Quakes. Come on, don't forget.
All right, let's go for the low hanging fruit. Let's definitely connect with them. We would definitely like to do stuff with them. So definitely check us out. I mean, we're definitely doing some big things, and we just wanted to let you know really quickly about it and what it's all
really
about.
Quickly. 42 minutes. Sorry, that's I'm here.
Actually, for us, 42 minutes is actually really quickly because we're pretty long winded.
Yeah, it took us about 30 minutes to get on the air.
That's true. Yeah, we had to literally talk through it. From Kevin Lyon, I am Michael Mondragon. Join us on Monday on Facebook and Tuesday for the Beer Baseball Blogcast, where we'll be doing some craft beer and curveballs. Yes, that is it. So thank you for joining us for this really quick one. Salud, and we will talk to you on Tuesday. Check us out, Beer Baseball Blogcast. Good night, everyone.